guys, long time no chat. My life has been extremely insane. Obviously my background looks different. This is the first video I'm filming in my home that I just bought. I'm thrilled to finally be here. It's like a never-ending cycle of non-stop, all the time on the go. But today I finally had a little bit of a break. I finally put some makeup on. I'm not kidding you. I don't think I've put a full face of makeup on in probably at least a month. So here we are. Today's video is going to be an update on my Project Pan, my 2022 Project Pan. It's pretty overdue, at least a month overdue, if not more. Last year I did like every quarter for an update, and it seems like just with how busy my life has been, that is kind of where I have been at this point. So my first Project Pan video was in January. My first update was April, I believe. Yes, April, and now it's kind of a boring update, not too many things. Again, I have just been so insanely busy, but also I've noticed a lot of especially colored products like bronzers, blushes, eyeshadows, things like that. I just have not gotten a lot of hard use out of, mostly because I have gotten so much makeup PR recently. Hopefully that slows down now that I've moved. Less know of my new location, so they can't really send me anything at the moment, which is kind of a relief if I'm gonna be honest. But let's just get started. We can see the good progress I've made on a lot of things. Some things just haven't been touched, and you know, I have to be okay with that, and it is what it is. My life is crazy. This was just a goal to try and get through some of these things, and yeah, so let's start. First thing on the list is the Matte and Poreless shade 128 from Maybelline. This is like my summer shade foundation. Summer is almost over. I have not been outside, mainly because I am pregnant now. It's really, really bad for pregnant women to lay out in the sun. We are a lot more susceptible to skin damage, even skin cancer. So I'm not trying to do that to my body. I also don't want any adverse reactions to being out in prolonged sun exposure. I don't need to get dehydrated. I definitely don't need that happening. Like, I'm trying to take care of myself, but not only myself, the baby that I'm growing inside my body. So I haven't gotten a chance to use my summer shade of this, and obviously in the beginning of this year I was not pregnant, and although I was trying, I didn't know how long it was going to take for me to get pregnant, because at the time I wasn't. So I haven't touched it. It's still the same mark right down there. Maybe if I decide to, I don't know, tan myself, like with my fake tanning lotion, maybe I can start using this a little bit, but no, I haven't gotten any use out of this. It is what it is. It's just how the cards played out. So the next product is my KVD Loose Translucent Setting Powder. I made a mark, which is right on the bottom here, from last update of where I am on this powder. And honestly, I really don't understand how haven't gotten any further on this product. There's 3 marks here. The first one obviously was from January. That second mark was from February, and then that third mark is from April. So I haven't made any progress on this powder at all. And I use this where I've been using this every time I've used my, or put makeup on, especially a full face. I use it today. I used quite a heavy amount today. So I'm kind of surprised more isn't gone out of this, but maybe the more I keep using it, the more it'll go down. But it hasn't moved. I swear I've used this a ton, but apparently not. Apparently in 4 months, I really didn't use any of it. Next product up on my project pan list is my Anastasia Beverly Hills Medium Brown Dip Brow Pomade. I actually should have made a little bit more progress on this. This is where I'm at now. I know it doesn't really look like it. It probably looks the same. If I can find a still from April, I will put it in here so you can see a difference. To me, there is. I know I've been using this a lot. I have it in my brows today. But one thing I will say is I have been using a ton of other brow products when I had been doing my brows over the last few months. So this hasn't been used daily like it has like all of last year. So I think that's kind of why this has slowed down dramatically now that the year is like 2/3 of the way over. The other thing is, again, this past month, if not more, I really haven't worn any makeup at all. So I haven't even done my brows. So I definitely haven't taken the time to put this in my brows, which means I haven't really used it quite often. But I do know that there should be just a little bit more progress than from April. So hopefully in that still image you can see a little bit of a difference. So another product that I definitely should have seen progress in, and I have, thankfully, it's my Kosas Revealer Concealer. I've talked about this concealer a ton. This is honestly my all-time favorite concealer ever. I have it in the shade 2. It's perfect yellow tone for me. I have really yellow undertones in my skin. If you can't tell, like, I'm not tanned at all. This is just pretty normal for me. So this matches really well. It just wears so well with any foundation that I put this in, even on its own. I made a mark in April, and then obviously the one below that is for August. So I have made quite a dent in it. I feel like I might be a little bit lower than where my mark is. It's a concealer, so it kind of sticks all to the sides. But I'm definitely noticing it being a lot more dry on the inside when I go to use it on the days that I do use this. Also, when I do my makeup and when I do wear concealer, this is the only thing I'm using. I know I have a whole drawer full of concealer, but honestly, this is the only one I ever reach for. I love it. It's my favorite. That's why I put it in this project pan. It just makes it easy for me to choose this, you know? It's just that good. So yeah, I made some good progress. This is one that I'm really, really happy about. So this next product is what's going to make me debate on possibly taking things out of a product of the project pan if I notice I'm not using it at all. This product is from Lilah. It's the Liquid Powder Chromatic Eye Tint. I did not even use this once in 4 months. I just noticed out of all the liquid shadows I have, this isn't my favorite. It is beautiful. It's a beautiful, like, everyday neutral color, but it is very hard to blend out. I notice it can be very patchy looking. Also, it's just not, it's not matte, it's not shimmery. I love really sparkly shimmers, really sparkly top coats, especially when they come in a liquid form like this. This just doesn't have anything to it. And honestly, I've tried using this before as just an eyeshadow base, and product does not want to sit well on top of this, especially like where it's not on your eyelid. Like you can clearly see like a demarcation when you're putting powder shadow over top of this. So honestly, I think I'm just going to take this out of the project pan. I've maybe used this twice this year, maybe 3 times. So obviously I'm not using this at all. I think I'm going to end up just decluttering this. There's no point in me keeping something in my collection if I truly know I'm not going to use it. It's just a waste. This one's really exciting for me because I am pretty positive I wasn't showing anything last time. So this is the Natasha Denona Love Cheek Palette. I stated that the cream blush in here, I wanted to just hit pan and then I could take this out of the project pan. Well. 4 months later, since April, there we are. So I finally have hit pan in this in this cream blush, and I'm not surprised. This is one of my favorite shades, one of my favorite cream blushes, just in general. I loved using this, so I'm not surprised that I finally did hit pan on this. So that is really exciting for me. And honestly, there's a huge area around that pan that is pretty thin. So I mean, if I did decide I want to keep this in, it would only increase in the expansion of the pan. But I did hit my goal, so I did hit pan in this. I did finish it. That was my goal, was just to hit pan. I didn't want to totally finish this cream blush up. I feel like if I made that my goal to try and pan this, it would have been too much, especially since I have another blush that I'm actually trying to pan. So speaking of that blush, this is it. This is the Tarte Party blush. It's just a deluxe size. I don't believe I've made an expansion of the pan that much. This is where we're at. If I remember, I will leave a still picture somewhere on the screen here so you can compare. This is the blush. This is where we're at. Not the best. Honestly, I really haven't used this that much in the last 4 months. I've really gravitated to cream and liquid blushes. I also have gotten sent an ungodly amount of blushes in PR. So I've really just been loving and testing and using and enjoying those blushes. So it was really hard for me to reach A for this blush because I've gotten so many, but also B because this is a powder blush. And honestly, the only thing I've been reaching for these days is liquid and cream blushes, which isn't a surprise. I think everybody who does follow me and has at least watched one of my videos knows that I like cream and liquid blushes, so that shouldn't be that much of a surprise. I've been trying to pan both of these Kylie KKW liquefied lipsticks. So these are the marks. Hopefully they're good enough to see. So at the very bottom, you can see where the marks are at. And not much to say about these. I do try and keep these in my purse at all times just so I can really get good use out of these, especially if I'm just wearing a gloss or like a color gloss like I am today. This isn't one of these. This is actually from Lime Crime. It's from their Wet Cherry gloss collection, which I really love, but it's really easy to just put a nudie pink over top something that I'm already wearing that's pretty much the same tone. My kid is laughing up a storm. So I have made some progress. Not as good as I expected, but you know, we're getting there. I don't know if I'm gonna finish these in time by the end of the year. So we'll see. I feel like all I've been wearing this year is just pink lipsticks and lip glosses, but that's okay. It's kind of making me loving them again. So I'm enjoying it. Obviously I'm wearing one today. It's not a surprise. So the products from the first update that I decided to put in my collection to replace some of the products that I finished up that first round. First product that I added was the Kylie Cosmetics Tequila Tan Powder Bronzer. I had a bit of an accident with this, and when I first put this bronzer in the Project Pan, it still had like the drip imprint that most of the Kylie products had. I had to dry press this. I had to break it all up and repress this. It got hard pan so bad that nothing was picking up on the brush, and when it was becoming extremely patchy on my skin. I actually used this today. It's one of my favorite bronzer colors, and honestly I really loved the formula of this because it was a very smooth formula, really blendable, and never was patchy on my skin. So I noticed this starting to get patchy the few times that I did wear it after I put it in this Project Pan. And I'm like, what the heck? Why is it getting patchy on me? Well, I think I must have had like other cream products on the powder brushes that I normally use for my powder bronzers, or they just needed washed. So it was creating a hard pan layer on this bronzer. So I was making progress. I didn't have a pan yet, but unfortunately I did have to crush it and repress it because I wasn't able to pick anything up after a while. So now it looks like I never even used it, minus it being repressed. Like, you can't see a dent, you can't see how far I've gotten on it. And then again, I just haven't been using any makeup recently, so I haven't even gotten a chance to use this, which is so frustrating, but it is what it is. Life circumstances got in the way. I got really busy, had a lot of life events happen. You can't ever predict your life. You can't predict what's gonna happen. So this is still a work in progress. Again, this is not something I'm trying to finish. I just wanted to hit pan in it. So now I feel like this might become a little bit more difficult. I also just really love using liquid and cream bronzers more than powders, but I'm thinking maybe now that, you know, this is the end of summer, I might get into the habit of using a powder a little bit more. So we'll see. I'm going to try and make an effort over the next month or two to really reach for this. So I'm gonna have to keep it like on my desk where I can see. Is this super old product. It's from Makeup Revolution. It's my liquid highlighter in the shade Champagne. I didn't have a mark on this last time because I had no idea where I was. I feel like I thought I was a lot lower than what I was, but I'm not. I've like found exactly where I'm at, and yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna finish this. Honestly, I ended up taking this out of my like everyday makeup drawer, and it ended up back in my like highlighter bin. So I haven't used this. I can't even tell you the last time I used this, so it's kind of frustrating just because there's so much left in this. Like, this is a whole ounce, which is like a full-size foundation, and it's just highlighter. So I'm literally just putting this on the high points of my face. This is gonna take me forever, but I'm still gonna try. We're still gonna try and use it. We'll see how far I get over the next couple months because I don't know what to expect, if I'm being honest. Next up is a lip liner. This is the Kylie Dolce K lip liner. I had a mark on a piece of paper of how far along or where I started on this, and I know I've used this a ton, but I can't seem to find that piece of paper anywhere. So if I mark it with like my middle finger, my middle finger comes up to like the very base of where it's sharpened. So this is slightly longer than my middle finger. Don't know what happened to the freaking piece of paper. I already had this marked on, but yes, I have used this quite a bit. Hopefully if I can get a good still frame of this from April, I can kind of have like a bit of a comparison. I'm really mad. I'm really mad at myself that I lost that. Mostly because the other product in this project pan that I added was this Evio lip liner, and I know that this was really long when it first started, and I think this is pretty much the same size as my middle finger. So this is even shorter than my Kylie Dolce K. I've used this today. I use this a ton. I love sharpenable pencil liners, even eyeliners, but lip liners specifically. They don't dry out nearly as fast as a retractable one, and they just stay creamy on the lips. I just really prefer this formula, but for whatever reason, I'm really liking this cooler toned pink. It's just very flattering right now on me, and I really had a fallout with these types of colors. I really wasn't enjoying these types of colors, but since I've had this in the project pan, I have like only ever used this one. So I am happy that I finally have gotten a lot of use out of this, because I'm not kidding you, this thing was so long. So long. Hopefully again I can find it still and I can put it here, but it's so tiny now. So I definitely think next update I could have this super tiny, or even possibly finished. So we'll see on next update. I just dropped the lid on the floor. I literally cannot bend over to get it. I'm losing space. I'm losing space in my chest cavity. I'm getting uncomfortable. Next product is another one that I've gotten really far on. So in April, this is the Lilah B Aglow priming oil. In April, I added this to the project pan. You can see my mark from April, and then my mark now from August. Yeah, huge difference. Huge difference. Again, this is something that I have been using every single day. I think I've mentioned it on Instagram. I don't know if I've actually mentioned it in a YouTube video, but I adore priming oils. One of my favorite primers to use. They just look so good under foundation. Honestly, any oil, in my opinion, looks really good on my skin. I do not have oily skin, so I do find this to be one of my more favorite type of primers to use. I'm sure if you had really oily skin, you might not like it, but I'm obsessed. I love this stuff. Honestly debating on if I do end up finishing this year, because my goal is to finish it this year. I might end up purchasing a full size, because this did not take me very long to finish. Again, I hadn't been wearing too much makeup the past month, even honestly 2 months. So to use this much is kind of crazy. I know that this is a clean beauty product, and clean beauty products tend to have a much shorter shelf life. So I'll just see how long this takes me to finish, especially because I have so many others in my collection. But either I'll get the deluxe size again if it's just worth it for me, or if I notice I'm like actually using this a ton and I'm only ever reaching for this, then I'll get a full size. We'll see. I love it though. I love priming oils. Oh, adore them. Next product is my sunscreen from Bliss. It's the Blockstar sunscreen. I made a mark in April. If you can see the mark right there. Yeah, right there. Perfect. I just finished this yesterday. So I have a totally different sunscreen on my face today. I really enjoy this stuff. I love the texture of this. I love the tone of this. I love that it's a physical sunscreen instead of a chemical sunscreen. It just ticks all the boxes for me. I love a good mineral sunscreen, and this is one of the better ones out on the market. It's a little bit more affordable. You can find it at Target. You can find it at Walmart even, depending on your location. Ulta Beauty, I'm sure, carries Bliss. I actually know they carry Bliss. So this was a really easy sunscreen that I knew I would finish up pretty fast. Its expiration was actually this September, so I finished it just in time. Yeah, I would think about repurchasing this again too. I really do enjoy this one. This is a really good sunscreen if you're looking for something really light, even if you just want something that's not a foundation. Like, this has the lightest amount of coverage, but if that's all you ever want and you don't wear foundation, this will substitute that for you. So you're getting a little bit of coverage and the benefits from protecting your skin from the sun's rays. So I can't praise this enough. It really is a really good formula. I loved this while I had it. Obviously, like, I used it up. I made sure to add this to my project pan because I liked it. And now I finished it. So I'm real happy to have it out of my collection. There are quite a few in my collection still, and I actually like the next one I'm using too, except the next one is a chemical sunscreen, but it's fine. I still love it. So yeah, this one's out. I finished it up. 2 products I hit my goal on. So far, it's the Natasha Denona Love Cheek palette and my Bliss Blockstar sunscreen. The only thing I'm actually taking out of this whole collection is the original Alleyoop Beauty Liquid Powder Shadow. It's just, it's not my vibe. It's not a me type of product. So it's been really hard to even try and use it once. The next product is my Alleyoop lip gloss. This is the shade Brand Nude. I have not made good progress on this. I feel like I used this a ton, but that's my mark today. And I feel like it hasn't gone anywhere, which is strange because I know I've used this a lot because I also keep this in my purse. So I'm just kind of confused as to why it's not really showing any progress. But maybe it's just one of those things, like, it'll show it once it's almost done type of thing. We'll see. It's my Anastasia Beverly Hills deluxe size of eye primer. This is not my favorite. If I could choose any eye primer to use on a daily basis, it would be the one from Rare Beauty. That is like a top tier eye primer. I really enjoy that one. But I'm trying to finish this up. I'm actually pretty close. So hopefully you can see these marks on the side. So I have a mark here from April at the top, right there. Oh, don't show me. So I have a mark from April, and then there on the bottom is my most recent mark for August. So I've used quite a bit of this. I still have quite a bit left. Hoping to have this done by the end of the year, so we shall see. If you do want to see my project pan last update, I'll leave it up in the cards. Yeah, go check it out. Then you can at least follow along a little bit to what I've been talking about today. So that's everything, and I'll see you guys in my next video, whenever that is going to be. So I'll see you then. Bye, guys.